Hey, how you doing, ladies? So this is kind of like a continuation to the last video I made. Um, and in this video, I want to discuss mental health for single mothers who have been married. Maybe I might do a video where I'm speaking, to single mothers who haven't been married. But I feel the urge to really do one for women who have been married because I'm actually in that category. Not only that, I know quite a few women who are, in the same position I'm in, not necessarily exact, but, near, as far as being, divorced or in the process of being divorced. And, just having to basically revamp, you know what I'm saying? So I am not a licensed therapist, psychiatrist, mental health worker, but I do want to share some of the things that I'm doing to keep my mental health strong. And so, if you're able to resonate or if you're able to apply any of the things that I'm going to share with you, by all means, do so. Because at the end of the day, what I realize is that we come to each other. We come to each other, and we look at how we're maintaining. We have our social media, or we'll call each other, or we'll see each other out on the street, or we'll even hear about each other from someone else. But it's something about our current situation that brings us together. And I find it to be very beneficial to actually have conversations with other single mothers who have been married. Just so that I can get clarity. I can get clarity, or I can apply realistic goals to myself, or I can actually apply certain things that they're doing to help themselves continue on wanting to still live, wanting to still carry on, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing this video. Okay, so I already have a video talking about my history. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm sure I'm gonna put it somewhere in this video, either now or at the end. So if you want to check that out, by any means do so. I tried to give a really clear description of my situation. I watched the video actually not too long ago, and I was like, dang, I should have said this, I should have said that. But I think that happens to all of us. But the message, it got out, and I was able to touch a few sisters. There was also what I believe a man to be on there telling me I should get back with my children's father. And so that's the first thing that I want to touch on regarding our mental health and, me personally, the impact that it has put on me, hearing that I should get back with a man I chose to leave, a man I chose to leave after 10 years, a man I chose to leave after 5 children, that I should get back with him. So that really bothered me. It really bothered me. It doesn't bother me now. I'm so grateful that, my skin got tough and I stuck to my guns and I trusted my decisions and myself within. And I've also had other women, tell me things, and other men tell me things, in support of my decision. So yeah, in the beginning, I heard a lot of that. Not necessarily from women, but mostly from men. And so to me, it meant something because I wanted to be married forever. I have 5 children. I wanted my children to be able to grow up in a home with a mother and a father, their mother and their father. That was my goal. And so, realizing that this marriage is not beneficial for me, it's not beneficial for him, and it's sure in the heck ain't beneficial for the children. I decided to follow through with the divorce because we filed for divorce many times before, but I decided to actually follow through with it. And so puts me at a position to where I'm like, you know what? There's Ira, I still have a desire to be married. And then I'm like thinking to myself, from hearing, Ira, let me record. Don't do that. I'm thinking to myself, am I crazy? You know what I'm saying? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? You know, am I crazy for still thinking that with 5 children and my credit is not as good as it was before I got married? I had to let go of a really good job that I finally was able to get after getting out of the abusive marriage. I had to let go of that and just working towards trying to make myself better financially. Ira, I don't want you in the video. Go over there. Go with your sister. Working towards trying to make myself financially stable, because what I consider to be something that I would definitely have to do for myself, for my children, and if I want to get married again, you know, I'm gonna have to not just be like, take me and my kids, you know what I'm saying? So dealing with that aspect, and this is just my own personal life, and not really having the support from my family, which I've never really had so much of the support like I, you know, always wanted. I had some support, but not like I always wanted. Excuse me. Yeah, I hit the hookah. You know, hearing that from men, especially men I didn't even ask, you know, their opinion, they would just pile it on me. It made me think, like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? I had to really think. So if you're anything like me, constructive criticism is important, but you have to know when it's constructive and when it's destructive, you know? And you also have to know that you do have to look at the destructive criticism and the constructive criticism, and you have to, you know, have a balance with it, because that in the middle is where your realistic goals are. Yeah, there are miracles where women, you know, are set up to where they can have multiple kids or even just one kid and they get married like that, you know what I'm saying? And their finances is like good like that, and their credit and everything, and just everything works out. Yeah, they are. And I'm thinking about Kiki Wyatt. We have the same birthday, which is March 10th. But you see, Kiki Wyatt, she's famous. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know everything about her finances and everything like that, but she's famous, okay? She's beautiful, all right? She has a lot of children and she looks good, you know what I'm saying? As far as I know, she has a lot of money, you know? So coming with that, you know what I'm saying? And then with a lot of children, and then the self-work she was doing, and it was all publicized, to me, she's set up to actually be someone, a woman that a man would say, you know what, hey, you know, what's the loss here? You know what I'm saying? It's what's the loss, you know? But for, I'm gonna say regular women like myself, we may be having, you know, different things that we're going through, you know, like I mentioned, credit and stuff like that, and money and then mental, you know, stability, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, you know? So, you know, what I want to share with you is, if you chose to leave, or if he chose to leave you, the decision is made, you're divorced, you have to stick with that decision. You have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you have to keep carrying on. Now, that may look difficult. That may be difficult. You may find yourself falling short. You may find yourself doing some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You may find yourself, I wish I could have put these down. Let's see if that'll help. Let me see. You may find yourself acting out in behaviors, doing, you know, with behavior that you never freaking thought you would, you know, experience. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you still have, and I'm speaking to me. This is how I speak to myself. As long as you still have air coming in your lungs and your children are good, and you have that mindset to keep taking care of your children and yourself, keep going. Keep going. All right? Because that's the first step. For me, that's the first step. So when I was hearing all that, and it was kind of getting to me, and I'm like, am I realistic about wanting another husband? You know what I'm saying? Or should I just remain single for the rest of my life? I made a video about that. You know what I'm saying? It was something that I did not, remaining single for the rest of my life is not something that I put as like oh, no, I'm not doing it. It's a realistic situation. I may be single for the rest of my life, you know? Now, that doesn't mean I can't, you know, engage in a few hookups and stuff like that. I might have someone who's willing to deal with me in his own space, and we meet up outside of the home, and he's not here in my immediate home and stuff like that. But realistically, you know what I'm saying, I haven't been able to find a situation like that. And so that made me feel like, you know what? I have to make this decision to focus on me and my children and my goals. And I'm not going to be putting myself out there to get my heart broken or be a pump and dump. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, I think I hit on the points when it comes to that. All right? So, now let's talk about the pump and dump situation. I mean, women who don't even have children struggle with finding a good man. College educated women, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful women, famous women, you know what I'm saying? You hear about the infidelities, you hear about relationships that don't last, you know? You hear about women that just can't get a man, you know what I'm saying? They just can't get a man and have children. So we already know that it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. Definitely not going to be easy, especially with children. We already know that. So that's what I was saying. You know, you can find yourself losing yourself and trying to decide if you want to get out in the dating field, put yourself out there to see if a man is going to come and want to dwell with you and your children, you know? And you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You know, because you can get desperate. You can do things like buy men things when you really know you really, you know, shouldn't be spending that money on him because you're responsible. You're a single mother, you know, you're responsible for your children. Or having sex recklessly, you know what I'm saying, or too much, you know, or unprotected. Getting desperate as far as trying to gain male attention or trying to get some fame or, you know, just trying to get attention, just trying to put yourself in a position to where you're looked at, you know? So you have to really, you know, take a breather. You have to take a breather. You can't, if you find yourself doing some things out of your element, you know, and if you don't have a sister to talk to, or if you don't have someone you need to talk to, hopefully you come across this video and hopefully it's something that sticks to you. You know, just take a chill pill. Me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I smoke some hookah. You know, I drink some wine or, you know, shots on occasion, stuff like that. You know, I do some things sometimes, you know what I'm saying, to help me, like yoga, working out, things to kind of stimulate my mind, I guess make me feel alive or just kind of suppress emotions or stabilize emotions, you know what I'm saying? But I also do inner work. I've also been tapping into divine feminine energy within me, researching it, surrounding myself around women who has good things to say to lift me up. You know, so I got my hands in a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even spending time with my children. getting to know them. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that we can't, forget, is that our children are still here. You know what I'm saying? So with the process of trying to replace the man that we didn't work out with, we cannot neglect the fact that our children still, they're learning us, we're learning them, and we still have to build that relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? So keeping busy. You know what I'm saying? Keeping busy. Some people can't, stay structured to a point to where they can divide up all their time equally for everything they want to do within the day. But just keep in your mind that you do have to keep your hands in a whole bunch of things to keep you going, to keep you stimulated, to keep, your mind still feeling like it has a purpose and it still needs to carry on and keep moving on. But definitely, I'm happy I brought up the children, because what I've noticed with my kids is that they went through some cycles, mental cycles, emotional cycles, where it was angry with me because, they're mostly with me, and whatever their dad was feeding them, telling them, put them in a position to where it's like, things have changed. I barely see dad now. I mean, they barely saw him before. I'm kind of getting personal. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see him at all. You know what I'm saying? And then dealing with those emotions and not being angry, dealing with their behavior. I got 4 daughters and a son, and my oldest 2, they're becoming teenagers, going through puberty. So dealing with all that, and just having to take a breather, and I'm still mama. I still love these babies. I made these babies, and guess what? They're still with me. I still have to get to know my kids, hear them out, hear what they have to say. Therapy, you know what I'm saying? Going diving into what they're interested in. Taking some time to actually watch a show with them that they're into, or read a book with them, or just do something that they're into that you may not really be into, but you know what I'm saying? It's about continuously building that relationship with them. Because when you're looking for a man, or when you're seeking a man, or when you're trying to replace the man that left or that you left, and you're trying to rebuild your family so that you can get back on course, the children tend to be neglected in that, And when you neglect your children, best believe it's going to affect you. Best believe it's going to affect you one way or another. So, I put the topic of pumping up on this because, you don't want to give that energy of being so desperate of trying to find a replacement man or another man onto your daughters or onto your son. That pumping up energy is no good. You know what I'm saying? And for the men who do it, there's men who do it, scumbags. You know what I'm saying? But it's an energy that's flowing within them that you have to be very mindful of, because your son that energy can pass on to your son. Even if you don't even bring the man around, it can still come through you and get to your son or your daughters. You know what I'm saying? So just keep going, and don't forget to keep your mind stimulated into something positive and something, that's going to keep you going. Look at what you need to do to keep you going. And one of the main things is making sure that you're investing time, love, and money, and whatever you're supposed to do as a mother, whatever you feel you're supposed to do as a mother, into your children, because, let's say if you meet a good man, he's going to be looking at how them children are, how your children are, how the relationship you have with your children. One thing that a man is not going to be able to just accept, okay, is if he really loves you and he's dealing with you and he's like, let me give this a try, but then he meets your children and they're just like they're just misbehaving. Y'all don't even have a relationship. Y'all don't even have like no love, no bond. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't hug each other, kiss each other. Y'all don't know how to speak to each other. You don't have a relationship with your children. Like that's something that I make sure that I do. And I've been through a lot. I'm telling you, I've been through a lot with my daughters and my son. He's 2 now, but even with him, I see that he's going through it too. So, you know, just be very mindful of the energy that you're opening yourself up to if you decide to go out there and date, casual date, or if you're looking for your husband, if you find him, whatever. Just be really mindful of that energy. Okay, so the video, I don't want it to be super duper duper long, but I feel like I touched on some things that I'm actually proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? That I was able to verbalize it as well as I feel like I've done. You know what I'm saying? For me, I feel like it's reiterating for me, because that's another thing. You're going to have to keep reiterating these things that I'm talking about in your life all the time, every day, you know? Okay, so if there's anything else that you want to bring to, you know, the topic and what you do that I didn't touch on, because I'm sure I didn't, but I don't want the video to be too dang long, you know, feel free to write it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? We can have a dialogue, or, you know what I'm saying, about it, or maybe you can have a dialogue with someone else, or maybe you can feel compelled to do your own video and share your own, you know, actions that you're doing to help yourself. Make sure you put your link in my description, in my comment area, so I can watch it too, you know. But yeah, that's it. So just keep pushing, and maybe I might do a part 2 if I can think about some more things later, you know. But peace and love to you. All right. It's a big change. It's a big change, and it's not an easy change. It's not an easy change, and it seems like all odds are against you, you know, but you still have value. You're still value. You're still value. You're still value. You're still valuable. All right? And how do you make sure that you know, and can't nobody tell you that you're not, is if you're doing the things that you know you need to do to help yourself be where you need to be that divine feminine, you know what I'm saying, for your children. Be that nurturer, that lover, you know, that you're designed to be. All right, so I send all love to you, and I'll see you on another video. Make sure you subscribe, share the video, and all right, peace.